Hello. Today we're gonna start with a new section in our math syllabus this year, and we're gonna do probability. Goal for our lesson today is correctly state the probability of an event from happening using keywords that we will learn later, and correctly define the concept of probability. A probability is something that you probably hear a lot, okay? Almost daily, you hear somebody talking about the probability of whether an event will happen. They usually use words such as chance, likelihood, or risk rather than probability. But what is probability? Probability tells the likelihood of an event happening. The higher the probability, the more likely an event will happen. Please make sure that you take note of the definition of probability. Probability is easier understood by looking at examples. For question 1, in this question from a Corbett's maths paper, we're looking at a spinner. So the diagram shows a fair spinner. As you can see in the diagram, more or less 3/4 of the spinner is designated as blue. As yellow, whereas 1/4 is designated as blue. And so as you know that when you spin this pointer, you'll probably have a bigger chance of landing on a yellow portion just because you have a larger section of that spinner assigned as yellow. And so when you're asked for letter A, which color is the arrow most likely to land on? Obviously, the obvious answer is yellow. Now, using the scale with an arrow, okay, show the probability of landing on green. Now, obviously, as you can see, there are no assigned section to be green. And so there is no likelihood at all. So there's no probability. So we say that it is impossible to land on a green, okay? Because the only options you have will be blue or yellow. And so you point an arrow on the 0, which also designates or equates to impossible. Now, as you have noticed, these are several keywords that we can use to describe the probability of events from happening. Okay, we say impossible, unlikely, if there's an even chance, likely, or certain. Impossible means that it will never happen at all. Certain means that it will happen 100% of the time. Okay. So, which word from the box best describes the likelihood of each of these events? So when you're looking at questions like this, obviously when you're working with probability, you need like a prior knowledge of about things. It's not going to be things that you will not be familiar with. For example, a newborn baby is a girl. Now you know from your science that there are only two sexes in biology. Okay, you either have a female or a male, and this is determined by the chromosomes, the sex chromosomes that they have. Okay, and so since there are only two options, what will be the probability of a newborn baby being a girl? That would be a 50-50 chance. Okay, and so you can say that it is even. Now, some of you may argue that actually we can predict through science and genetics what does the sex of the newborn baby will be, but we are not considering all those things, just the fact that when you're expecting something and you have an option whether it's a girl or a boy, what's the probability of it being a girl? That is even, means you have equal chances of getting a boy or a girl. Letter B. You throw on an ordinary dice and get a 2. Now we know that there are 6 options. Okay, so it goes 1 to 6 in a dice. Okay, and so what will be the likelihood or the probability of it resulting or you getting a 2? And so since it's only 1 out of the 6 chances, it is not impossible because you still have that 1 chance out of 6. And so we say that it is unlikely. Feel free to pause the video so you can take down notes. Let's look at this next example. Okay. So we choose between impossible, unlikely, even, likely, or certain. Use a word from the box which best describes the probability of each of the following events. A. You roll a 10 on an ordinary 6-sided dice. Since it's an ordinary cube and it's 6-sided, you can't have 10. It just goes from 1 to 6. Okay? And so that would be impossible. You roll a number greater than 1 on an ordinary 6-sided dice. Okay? So you roll a number greater than 1 means that you get 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And so it is very likely, okay? But it's not always certain because you might get 1 as well. Certain means 100% of the time, okay? So the correct answer here is likely. Let's look at this example as well. A fair 6-sided dice is thrown, okay? The probabilities of the following events have been marked on the probability scale below, okay? So where would letter A, a number less than 7 is thrown, B, a 6 is thrown, and C, an odd number is thrown. Okay, so let's decide for letter A first. A number less than 7 is thrown. So we know that the numbers in the dice would be just 1 to 6. So it's always going to be less than 7. And so this event has absolute certainty that it is happening. So we say that correct answer A will go here. Okay. Now as you can see, the probability scale can also be represented from 0 to 1. 0 means impossible. Okay, and then 1 representing certainty. Okay, and so you can see there that the probability is just between 0 to 1 numerically, and I'm going to teach you in the next videos how to use numerical methods in expressing probability. Let's proceed to letter B. A 6 is thrown, so that's going to be one chance that you'll get 6 in a 6-sided dice. So there is a chance of getting it. It's not impossible, definitely, but the chances are very low. Okay, and so where would letter B go? It will go here. Okay, and then you might think, oh, obviously the answer is going to be C is going to be in the middle. But let's try to analyze it. Okay, so an odd number is thrown, as you can see, because you have 6 numbers in a dice. Okay, an ordinary one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I separated the odd and the even numbers. So these are the odd numbers. These are the even numbers. And as you can see, there are 3 odd numbers and 3 even numbers. So there's a 50-50 chance that you will get an odd number. That's why you write C in the middle. Feel free to pause the video so you can take down notes. We have another spinner in this case. Okay. So Amir makes a fair spinner with 6 sectors. So you have, now take note that they're not numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 3 3s, 1, 2, 1, 5, and 1, 4. Okay? Use a word from the box that best describes the probability of each of the following events. Okay? The spinner lands on 6. Now since you don't have any options there of a 6, it will never land on a 6. And so our answer will be, what do you think? If you said impossible, then that's correct. Now, the spinner will land on a 3. Okay, as you can see, 3 takes 3 out of the 6 sectors of the spinner. And so there's a 50-50 chance that the pointer will land on a 3. And a 50-50 chance that it will not land on a 3. And so we say that this is even. I don't know why they write evens. Even or even chance, that's fine. Spinner will land on 2. What do you think? So that's one chance out of the 6 areas that it can land on. Okay, and so you say that it's unlikely. spinner will land on a number greater than 1. Since all the options are greater than 1, you say that that is certain. Now, as you can see, we use these keywords or key terms to describe the probability, okay, qualitatively. So with words: impossible, unlikely, even, likely, certain. And we now know that probability is the statement that tells us the likelihood of an event from happening. And the higher the probability, the more likely an event will happen. Please make sure that you copy notes from this video and do the assign maths watch or my iMaths task for the day. And we say that all these goals have been met. Thank you.